cannot change the things that you are not aware of. If you don't have any self-awareness, how are you going to know the patterns and the cycles and the things that you need to change to become the best version of yourself? Hey, I'm Emily and I'm here to inspire and empower you to become the best version of yourself. And in today's video, I am going to be teaching you 3 simple, easy tips on how you can increase your self-awareness so that way you can be aware of what's going on in your thoughts and your brains, what needs to be changed, and it is the very first step to transforming your life. But before I get into this video, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button so you get all the notifications when I upload a new video, and like this video. So as we get into the video, the very first thing I want to talk about is why self-awareness is so important. Self-awareness is really the very first key, the very first foundation of doing the internal work to becoming the best version of yourself. So think of it this way. No one knows you as good as you know yourself. No one. No one on earth knows you as well as you know yourself. And if you think someone else knows you better than you know yourself, that is a clear sign that you need to spend more time with yourself so you can know yourself, truly know yourself. And it took me a long time to understand this and realize this. And honestly, it made me very uncomfortable to think about spending some time alone with myself for self-awareness, for self-reflection, because I really didn't like who I was. But the good news is you can always change who you are at any point in time. So as we talk about self-awareness, what is self-awareness? Self-awareness is really understanding our thoughts, our patterns, our beliefs, how we feel, how we are reacting to certain things, being aware of our surroundings. When we're in different surroundings, how do we feel? Are we in different environments? Does it feel toxic? Does it feel good? All these things are really self-awareness, and how much of the mind chatter is going on. How much of that is just like running nonstop and you can't turn it off? Because I know I was one of those for years. I couldn't turn it off. It would just constantly run. There was no way to turn it off. And so I turned to other things to try to turn it off and numb it out. Things like overeating, over-exercising, spending time binge watching Netflix, all these things. So when you think about self-awareness, just take baby steps towards it, which is why I really wanted to break this down in 3 easy steps that you can start today. And I'm also going to put a disclaimer here. You can watch all the videos in the world on self-awareness, but if you don't take any action and you are just going to watch this video and not take any action, you're not going to make any changes. So if you're going to watch this video, make sure you take action. Make sure you take action. So the very first thing I have is spending time with in silence with yourself. Whether that is 2 minutes, 5 minutes a day, every other day, make it a practice. And I know you're probably rolling your eyes thinking, this is stupid. I don't understand it. It's really, really uncomfortable for me. I get it. I get it because I was there. For years, I was like, no, meditation is stupid. I'm not asking you to meditate. I am strictly asking you to spend some time with yourself, just in silence. Just block out 2 to 5 minutes. Whether you have to do it before you walk into work, the 2 minutes that you have, or instead of scrolling social media, take those 2 minutes and just spend some time in silence with yourself. And when you can start doing that, you'll get comfortable with it. Then you can start listening to yourself and you can be aware of things. Now, when you do this, you may get overwhelmed because it'll be like, oh my goodness, I had no idea that I was thinking these thoughts, or I had no idea that this was what was constantly running in my head. Don't let that overwhelm you. Don't judge that, because it's okay, because once you are aware of it, then you can start changing and transforming it. The next tip I have is learning how to be present in the moment. Not thinking about your future, not thinking about your past, but just in the moment. If you can be in the moment with yourself, you can really learn a lot about yourself. And even if you try this with other people, when you're having conversations with other people and you're really present in a conversation, it changes the conversation because you're actually there. You're actually paying attention. Have you ever had a conversation with someone that wasn't paying attention? It's annoying, right? So do this with yourself. Be present in the moment. So if you're out exercising, ask yourself, just be present. Like, how does my body feel? Like, I'm just in the moment. Maybe it feels good just to be breathing, right? Learn how to live in the present. And if you want a tool to go along with this, there's a book that's called The Power of Now. That was incredible for me to learn how to be in the present moment. When we are in the present moment with ourselves, everything is okay. Because if you think about it, if you're stressed out about work or money or your relationship or whatever it is, and you just become present in the moment, you don't worry about your future, you've let go of your past, and you're just in that moment, you create a sense of peace. You create a sense of happiness within yourself. Even if it's for a split second, even if it's for like less than 30 seconds, but you can create that for yourself. And that in itself is incredible, because a lot of people can't do that. And I was one of those. I couldn't do that for years. But when I know now, anytime I'm getting overwhelmed, if I'm just present in the moments and I'm just sitting there, I'm not thinking about my future, I'm not thinking about anything in the past, I can just be present. And it makes me grateful for that feeling of everything is good, everything is fine, right? Because if you're not worrying about your future or hanging on to your past, you literally are just present. And all we really have is the present moment, because we don't know if we're going to die tomorrow, 30 years, 50 years, whatever, like in the next couple of minutes, like whatever. We don't know that. So stay present with yourself and practice this over and over. Even when you're driving to wherever it is, or if you're standing in a line somewhere, practice just being present, not worrying about anything or hanging on to the past or beating yourself up for stuff that really doesn't matter anymore because it's in the past. But practice being present, because that will help your self-awareness a lot. The last tip I have is know and understand what triggers you. And when I talk about triggers, I'm talking about things that really just kind of set you off. You know, they're really the things that really just kind of test you or make you angry or make you sad, or those things. Know the good and the negative triggers. I don't like to call them good or negative because they're all just triggers and they're there to help us learn and grow. But know what triggers you to be happy. What are those things? What triggers you to be sad? Start having that awareness within you. And when you start learning those things about yourself, you're really being aware of yourself and learning more about yourself, which increases your self-awareness. So you know, if you're in this type of environment, you may react a certain way. Or if you're around these type of people, you may react a certain way. So that way you understand it. So just to recap, we have spending time in silence with yourself. And I know it's going to be really uncomfortable if you've never done it, but try it and continue to try it. The second one is learning how to be present, not worrying about the future, not hanging on to the past, just strictly being present in this moment. And the last one is knowing and understanding your triggers. Once you can understand how important self-awareness is and you can start mastering these things, your life will transform. This is one of the key steps that I teach all of my clients that I work with on how to really focus on self-awareness and what happens when we do focus on self-awareness. And I even added this in my 30-day course that I have that you can purchase online and work on your own pace. But in the course, I break it down on some steps on how to do this every single day. So if you need support on this, you can either go and look at that 30-day course that will transform your life in 30 days, or you can work directly with me as your guide and mentor.